Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Payne Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi!
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
CNN is learning that Alex Preddy had a physical encounter with federal agents about a week before he was shot and killed by law enforcement. Sources tell CNN that Preddy broke a rib when a group of federal officers tackled him while he was protesting. Priscilla Alvarez is breaking that story for us. What else are you hearing, Priscilla?
Dana, we're learning more details along with my colleague Jeff Winter about what exactly transpired a week before Alex Preddy was shot in Minneapolis and died this past weekend. Now, in this earlier incident, he stopped his car after observing ICE agents chasing what he described as a family on foot and began shouting and blowing his whistle. Preddy later told one of these sources that 5 agents tackled him and one leaned on his back, appearing to leave him with a broken rib. According to this source, and I'm quoting here, that source said, quote, that day he thought he was going to die. Now, Preddy was later given medication that is consistent with treating a broken rib, according to records reviewed by CNN. Sources also say that he was known to federal law enforcement, though it's unclear whether it was this incident or another with federal agents that they knew of him. It's also unclear whether the officers who tackled him on Saturday knew who he was. What we do know, however, is that federal immigration officers have been collecting personal information of protesters and agitators within the context of what the Department of Homeland Security has warned is repeated threats towards officers as they are conducting immigration enforcement operations. In fact, just Tuesday, the department also publicized an online tip.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tuesday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, fastest hour in American media. That report coming earlier from CNN, Dana Bash, and others, the person that was killed, Alex Preddy, had a history of interfering with law enforcement operations. I don't know what that means to you, but I know what it means to me. And I'm not saying, of course, it means that he should have been killed, but it means that this idea that he's just a nurse and he was just out there being good, he was actively involved in trying to disrupt ICE from doing their job. Tom Homan has promised that we have that later on. They're going to start collecting a database of some of these people. Donald Trump was on one of the greatest morning shows in America. Probably the most successful morning show in America is a show that airs in New York in the mornings. New York, the greater New York area. It is Sid and Friends. Sid is an amazing broadcaster. It is inside radio stuff for just a moment, folks. It is so difficult with all of the competing media that is out there. Gone are the days when people tune into just 2 or 3 things. We're in a different media landscape. People have personal choice of what they will listen to, what they view, and those choices have multiplied by the thousands. In fact, the other night, a friend of mine sent me, my chiropractor, who's just an amazing guy, he asked me while he was adjusting my creaking and aging bones, have you ever seen this show called Dust? I'm like, no. Where is it streamed? What network? It's a YouTube thing. And what they are is short films, short movies. And it was a sci-fi one. It was very, very good. It made me want to look. But there are so many different choices in media. And so for somebody to be able to do what Sid Rosenberg has done, Sid and Friends in the morning, which is to have, it's almost like the old days of radio. His audience is huge. And that's because he is such an amazing broadcaster. And he's a wonderful man too. He's just a wonderful human being, and he's a great guy, but he's just such a great broadcaster. Red Apple Audio Networks, and he is on the flagship station, WABC in New York, and has really just taken the New York market by storm. He had Donald Trump on this morning, President Trump on, with Sid and Friends, and cut one, and this is part of the discussion on Sid and Friends this morning with President Donald J. Trump.
But I had two very good talks. I had Jacob Fry and I had Governor Walz, and I mean they were great calls. So let's see how they report it. But they were very nice calls, very respectful.
So is there a possibility, President Trump, of some type of compromise? I read that some of the Guard will be leaving the state of Minnesota, some type of compromise to, I guess, make those guys feel like they're in charge, even though, God help us.
Yeah, well, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I think so. What we need is their criminals. You know, they have criminals, and all I said, just give us your criminals. And if you give us the criminals, it all goes away. They're there to pick up murders. I don't know if you saw, but it was a couple of days ago announced that crime is the lowest in the history of our country, the recorded history of our country.
Wow.
That's a big statement. That's because of us. That's because we go into cities and towns. Usually we're embraced. Sometimes we're not. Chicago is like pulling teeth with Pritzker and with the mayor of Chicago, low IQ person. And usually we're embraced, but sometimes we're not. And when we're not, it just makes it harder.
Yes, and that is correct. We talked about that the other day. The murder rates in America are at the lowest rate they have been since 1900, 125 years. And that happened in the 1 year that Donald Trump took office, that it has dropped to that historic low, and I have a feeling it will drop even further. Many of us are old enough to remember, and the young people not so much, when murder... Sid and Friends in the morning. Yes, I thought I said that. Sid and Friends in the morning. Anyway, yes. That is the name of the show, Sid and Friends in the Morning with Sid Rosenberg. Murder is at the lowest rate it has been in 125 years. Many of us are old enough to remember that murder was a big deal. In fact, I will always remember Rush talking about something that, and you can see from, if you go back and you look at old movies, how it was treated. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre. And this was all over the world in terms of news because it didn't happen on a regular basis. Mass shootings, mass murder did not happen. And so when you had this massacre, and they were gangsters killing other gangsters, but even then it was a big deal. This was not the way that life was. Life was not, and I'm not saying there wasn't crime. Of course there was crime. There has always been crime. But those murders, the way that we see murders are just casual. Mass shootings. We don't even hear of the mass shootings that happen every day because there are so many of them. Not to mention the people that are, walking the streets. There's a case in Florida last week, triple homicide. The guy was declared insane. So what did they do? The Soros-appointed DA there let him out. This is in the Orlando area. Soros-appointed prosecutor let him out. They let him out. You just go take your meds, go take your medicine, and we'll let you out. He gets out, doesn't take the meds, kills 3 people. And now they're talking about adjusting the law. These things were not normal. It is not normal to have a society that is this violent. Also, one must add, in this country, There was a lot more emphasis, dare I say it, but it is true, there was a lot more emphasis on living morally. Churches, synagogues, whatever the mosque, whatever your religions were, there were so many more people engaged in a religious life. Moral teachings were not uncommon. This anything goes in society wasn't the order of the day. And so now we're slowly coming back to a point where perhaps the pendulum is turning. And part of it is due to what's happening now, enforcing the law. And Democrats are dead set against it.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.